Consider yourselves blessed tonight, and may you want to go home. You can toast for congratulations because something historical happened tonight that I realized I've never ever done as a pastor. I don't know if I'll ever do it again. But I allowed that reading from Matthew 1, verses 1 through 17, the genealogy of Jesus. Most pastors says we're not going to be reading this anytime in the congregation, but I let it stand. It was a suggested text for tonight with the theme of answering that question, who is Jesus? And if you really want to get to know someone, get to know their family. See where they've come from. And it really tells you the story about everything you need to know about who this person is. And I know it's a very dry text, and I know that within the first couple of verses you already glossed over of what was being spoken, because who wants to hear a bunch of names you don't recognize, names you don't even know who these people are, be read off through those 17 verses. But that text is actually a very critical text that just really lays down what Matthew does, and the reason why he puts in his gospel. He just makes it very simple and clear who Jesus is and where he has come from. He comes from a long line of very important people, starting with Abraham, the father of the Hebrews, the man God called out earth, who blessed him with that covenant that he will make his name great and his descendants numerous as the stars in the sky, and that from his seed will come a blessing. He's also from the son of David, the great king of Judah, the great king of Israel, who led mighty and wonder and glory to the people of Israel. He's the king of Solomon. And on down the line of many kings and other great people. But then the last 7 generations, those last 7 names are no ones, nobodies. It's like my family. Who knows a Gruenhagen? No one knows anyone in Gruenhagen. But yet, from this very simple family, humble family, from a great history, this child named Jesus is born in Bethlehem. And so tonight, in the next couple of weeks, as we work our way to Christmas, I want you to ask yourself, who is this child? Who is this Jesus? We celebrate his birthday every year. And yet I know on this time of the year, we do more than just celebrate the birth of Jesus. There's a lot going on. I realize that. But that's why I want to take a night to come here, quiet our hearts and our minds, and just ask that simple question, who is Jesus? Who is born unto us? And so looking at the genealogy, as I said earlier, he is the son of David. He is born of kings. He is of royal blood of Israel. And so Jesus comes to us as that king to serve us. You know, talking about kings and against the government monarchy, and I'm glad Jason is here. Back again, wild up here, but I'm going to say a very profound statement. I think we should get rid of democracy and go back to democracy. Are you riled up yet? Okay, yeah. I mean, if you think about on paper, and Jason's right, but if you think about on paper, a monarchy should work. I mean, just have one person in charge, for crying out loud. You know, no more, don't have to worry about voting for people and not your person getting in office. No more changes in office. No more this gridlock that happens in Congress. Man, just put one person in charge, and he can judge, he makes laws, he executes laws, he does everything, and it gets done. Does that sound good, Jason? No? It sounds good, except for one thing. What's that one thing? Who's going to be the one in charge? See, it looks great on paper if you have the right person, if you have the right king or queen, who's going to rule fairly and with justice and with mercy and compassion, who has wisdom and discernment, who makes all the right decisions and choices. and who doesn't think about themselves. Monarchy can be a wonderful system. But as we know through the history, and the reason why we have democracy is that world history is filled with what? Terrible kings. Terrible, terrible people. That when they got into that office, when they got into that power, they began to rule for who? Themselves. Just like that text in Jeremiah, the prophet is warning the people of Israel how God gave them these rulers, these kings, these other prophets to be shepherds of his people. And what did they do? They hurt them. They let them down. They made decisions that would benefit them and not their people. They put themselves above everyone else. But through the prophet Jeremiah, God reassured the people of Israel that he will send that righteous branch. He will send that king who will rule with justice and mercy and bring salvation and glory to his people. The people of Israel have never seen that king, and even King David was never that king. And he was probably the best king Israel had in its history. But he fell, he stumbled, just like so many other people. And so what we come to celebrate and answering that question, who is Jesus? Jesus is the very true king that you and I seek after. Jesus is the king who does rule with justice and with mercy. Jesus is the king who also rules with compassion and forgiveness. But this is the big thing about Jesus as king. He's not a king as the world sees it, or he's not the king as the world creates. He's not a king that rules with power and earthly glory. No, Jesus as king comes in a very much different way. He comes as a servant. He comes to serve you. As a king, he gets down on his knees to wash our feet. As a king, he goes to the sinners and offers them mercy to lead them back into his righteousness. As a king, he goes to those who are hungry and he feeds them. As king, he healed the lepers and restored sight to the blind and made the lame to walk again. As king, he put everyone first and himself last. See, the throne of Jesus is not going to be found in some capital or some palace, but the real throne of Jesus is going to be found on the cross, where he gives his whole life to the world. That's why we call him December 25th, the person who we celebrate, the person that we find joy in this child, this young king. Is a king who came to die for us and to lead us, to be and make us his people. That's a true celebration of Christmas. And it really is a true celebration of who Jesus is, our King. Amen.